There is an old adage that information is power. It enlightens you, it informs you, it can make your life better. Examples of that would be that smoking used to be rampant in America. Also, some of the diseases that go along with it, emphysema, lung cancer, various other respiratory diseases. They were fought very hard by the cigarette industry, didn't want the information to come out, didn't want to put warning labels on cigarettes, didn't want Joe Camel, Joe Cool to be able to sell cigarettes. More information that came out, the more people stopped smoking. And the more we passed legislation. We took information, used it for public good. We decided that you can't smoke in certain places. You can't, have it in your car and in your home. It made Americans' life safer, and it added to our mortality. We live longer now, much like sugar. Now, what they do is they take your caloric intake and put it next to whatever meal you have it. You have to have it. People are starting to make better. They're starting to make better choices. The same thing that happened with seat belts, the same thing that happened with helmets, the same thing that happened with texting. We take the information, we do data, use the data to shape public policy that helps our lives better, adds to our mortality. Why wouldn't we do that with policing in America? Like right now, we know that several police officers in Philadelphia, in St. Louis, in Dallas have had to be relieved of duty or put on desk duty because they were involved in racist Facebook posts. We know right now that policemen, have a high concentration of substance abuse, of domestic abuse, of violence, but we do not tabulate that information. We don't correlate it. We don't want to know. Maybe it is that they're a lot better police officers than I would give them credit for, or maybe they aren't. But information will answer all those questions. Empirical data is what we use to correlate that information, shape policy, and make things better. Why wouldn't we want to know? We want to know things just for the sake of knowing them. We gather information just for having information. For instance, Cornell University received $1.1 million to research the pain of a bee sting. 1.1 million to study if cheerleaders are more attractive in a squad or a single. In 2010, the National Endowment of Humanities spent $1 million researching if people were Team Jacob or Team Edward. They spent $1.9 million to research whether a human being could outrun a dinosaur. They spent $2.9 million to research who will be America's next top model. Oh. The NIH and NSF spent $3.9 million researching what makes goldfish feel sexy. The NIH has spent more than $5 million trying to study the drinking habits of college students. You ain't got to do that. Just go to spring break. $13 million was spent to research what kind of music monkeys and chimps like. So they've taken even information that we can't use, that have no viable use for us, but we've thrown millions of dollars at it. Why would we want to know who's policing us? Why wouldn't we want to know what the outcome is? Why wouldn't we want this information to shape policy and make things better? Why wouldn't we do it? Because you don't want to know. Maybe it is they're a lot better police officers than society gives them credit for, or maybe not. But if we take this information and make a reasoned decision based on data, like we've done with all these other things to make society better, that would be a reasonable thing. It's reasonable to know, like every 7 hours, a police officer shoots someone in the country, an American. It's reasonable to know that. How many instances of abuse? How many times are there bias involved? How many times do they beat their wives? How many times do they do drugs? How many times do they do racist things? We should know these things, tabulate the information, and make a decision. Because information has made us better. And absent that information, we're guessing. There are a lot of things we wouldn't guess about anymore. We spent $21.5 billion to find out what was going on in space. We want to know what is going on all around us. We want all this information. We want to know what's happening with the stars. If we can spend billions of dollars finding out what's happening with the stars, we should spend at least a little money finding out about somebody who wears one.